What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Think Welding and More. And today is the day that I do the roll cage in my Nissan Titan. So let's quit messing around and dive in. All right, so here it is. As you can see, I took out the headliner and the floor, getting it ready. I threw some dynamite up there. That stuff's great. It's definitely worth the money. This was a full box, 9 sheets that it took to do this crew cab. Back here, this is where I'm going to be working today. I got it sectioned off, prepped so I can make the back portion of the roll cage with the the main hoop and the cross braces and center bar and all the triangulation to make it strong. I already went ahead and cut some holes so we can get down to the frame. I need to sand and prep that area a bit better and start making parts so we can get this thing rolling. Alright, so I got my tubing set up in the bender. As you've seen, I laid it out and cut it already. At the end, I have a piece of angle hose clamped on there so I can put my gauge on to make sure my bends are straight with each other. I'm gonna go ahead and do 2 bends. The first one's gonna be 45 degrees and the second one's gonna be 20. After I do it, I'll fit it in the truck to see how it fits and see if it's going to work for me. So let's get started. Alright, so I'm out here to show you guys what I've done so far and what I'm gonna do next, so let's check it out. So over in that corner I have a C-pillar that I bent up and tacked in place, and I did the same thing on this side. I just tried to get it square with the cab and tacked it in place, and then that allowed me to get the measurement for my top tube. After I cut my top tube, I capped the ends, and then as far as this notch, I used my tubing notcher. I put a digital degree finder on here, and it told me the angle, which is 20 degrees, because I did a 20-degree bend, and I notched it at 20 degrees, and it, you know, turned out good. So we're gonna move on to doing the center tube. As far as that, I take an inside to inside measurement and I add an inch. That's a 1/2 inch cope for each side. And after I fit this tube in, I'm gonna do the center one that's gonna go vertical, and that's gonna allow me to take measurements for my diagonals. After I get those diagonals done and all tacked into place, then I'm gonna do the lower diagonals and have them land on the bins of the C-pillar. That way it makes a strong cage. So now that you guys know my game plan, let's start making some more parts. So I'm out here, I'm all set up to notch each end of this tubing. I measured a 1/2 inch. I don't want to take more than that. The less you take, it's actually easier on the hole saw. You just want to go slow. I set up my angle finder. I set it to 0, and it makes it really easy. I can just turn it around, you know, set it back to 0, and then I'll have the same notch on both sides. All right, update time. I'm gonna show you what I've done and what I'm going to do after. So let's check it out. So right here, I put in the tubing across and I did the vertical. After I did the vertical, I used the tie down strap to strap around it and hold it in position. Then I was able to measure and cut the diagonals. The first one took me a lot longer. After I figured it out and I knew it was gonna fit well, I made some templates out of some paper. So I wrapped some paper around it, traced it, cut it out, put it on the second piece, and it went a lot faster. Now that I have those done, tacked in place, then I'm gonna move on to the lowers, the ones that go from the center down to the corner and hit this bend right here, and it will make it a lot stronger. So let's start making some parts and fit them up. After we fit them up, I'll pull it forward, I'll weld the back side, push it back into place, weld the front side, and just keep it tacked to the frame and keep these washers holding it upright so I can continue with the rest of the roll cage. Got all the diagonals put in, fit up, tacked up, ready to be welded. Gonna weld the front side and then cut the tacks on the frame and on the side right here and lean it forward, and then weld the back side, Once all the welding's finished, I will stand it back up in place and tack it back to the frame, and then move on with the rest of the roll cage. All right, so this is what I've gotten done so far. As you guys seen, I did the C-pillars, the top of the roll cage, all the diagonals, and I welded it out. Before I put it back into place, I went ahead and spray painted a lot of it. That way I don't have to do it later. And I left areas that I'm still gonna weld raw. So next I'm gonna work on the upper tube that goes down to the A-pillar and then down to the frame, and I will do all the diagonals and cross braces, working my way forward towards the front. Now as you can see, I gutted my dashboard. I pulled out the main support that holds it in because since I'm doing such a long tube, it would be too difficult to try and fish it in. So I removed the frame to make it easier. I still have to cut holes there, somewhere there, and over on this corner. But as far as everything, that's gonna be it for this episode, and I will have more coming. So once again, if you like what you see, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, share with your friends. Really appreciate it. I'll see you guys on the next one.